Number four, the CFO is proactive in managing your cash flow, accounts receivable, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, in current times, this is the most important thing that's going on for a lot of businesses, managing cash flow. Burn rates used to be a discussion about how much cash you had that's going to last you for companies that were getting equity investors until their next round of financing. And now small businesses and entrepreneurs are doing it in this environment to say, how long can I hold out and wait through this crisis until I can get back to some new normal? So you need to know that, and a CFO can be in there and know what's that burn rate, what's my cash runway, and not just back of the envelope stuff. I'm talking analytical stuff. Really understand we're being paid in 30 days on average pre-crisis. It suddenly went to 50. Well, that's a big impact on my cash flow. And that means I might have less time than I thought. And I need to factor that in. The money in the bank is never really the answer. And my question here is the rhetorical one, but it's also based upon an example. I have a client who's got $7 million in the bank, and everybody will go, wow, it's only 4 months of operating expenses. It's not enough. And I keep telling my client that. Fortunately for them, the COVID crisis hasn't hurt them that much. We're in an initiative now. By the end of the year, we hope to have 6 months worth of expenses, which has been a goal we put in place 18 months ago to get to. And we did not need to rely on it, but it has put us in a very comfortable position when this crisis hit in March and April, when I went straight to them after just 2 weeks of looking at the books and said, we've got nothing to worry about. We could lose all our business the rest of the year. We've got enough money to cover us. Because even though we had only 4 months, I knew if we started to make certain cuts, we would make that stretch out longer. So $7 million is not the number. It's how much of that can you make last in crisis mode? What is it like your rainy day fund? Just like any personal financial advisor will tell us what we need personally to have in the bank in an emergency fund. I believe every business owner, every entrepreneur should be having that in the bank today and be working towards that. It's one of the key lessons, I think, for most businesses out of this crisis. I'm sure you've seen that too.
Yes. And what this points out too, I think, is your earlier comment about understanding the relationships of the numbers in the business and the different aspects of the business, so that when you turn one dial, flip a switch, something changes, what's that impact going to be? Such as you described, with maybe a slowdown in collection of receivables. Maybe we arrange for some other kind of financing. We can manage our cost, our personnel, but being able to see that we can take this effect, the effect does not show up overnight, understanding what time period that will show up and what that means to the overall strength and safety of the business.
And sometimes, Carter, a decision about whether I want to do those things, or maybe it's my own equity that I've taken out of the business over the years that I want to pull back because I believe in this business. But sometimes you look at it and you're saying, if you really want to be brutally honest, I'm not going to go back to where it was for a very long time. So do I want to put that investment in? Or do I want to put that personal guarantee on the line for that bank loan increase?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at a very changed business and market right now. And if I can't make that pivot, I might need to reconsider what I'm doing here.
Yes. Again, it's looking out that front window where you're going versus making decisions because when we look in the back, everything's okay.
Right.